The Appalachian Mountains, one of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth. This place is not only famous for its majestic scenery, vast primeval forests, and babbling streams, but also hides countless mysteries that have never been solved. Amidst this poetic landscape, there is a place that the locals call by a haunting name: Black Hollow, the Black Valley. Black Hollow lies deep within dense forests, shrouded in thick mist all year round. The sunlight rarely penetrates the dense canopy, making this place always gloomy and cold, like a hell on earth. Although it is just a small valley, Black Hollow has become a source of fear for many generations. The people living around the area always warn each other: never set foot in Black Hollow when night falls. Never walk alone on the trails there, because you might encounter something you never want to face. And today, we will explore that terrifying mystery: the lost traveler in Black Hollow, a lost soul, forever wandering the cold trails. The story begins on an autumn morning, more than 40 years ago. At that time, Black Hollow was still a novel destination for adventure lovers. Among them was a young man named Thomas Reed, a backpacker passionate about exploring the wild nature. Thomas was full of energy, always seeking new experiences in lands where no one had set foot before. That day, Thomas decided to embark on a solo trek through Black Hollow. Despite warnings from the locals about the dangers and mysterious tales surrounding the valley, he confidently entered, carrying a light backpack, a paper map, and an old compass. He had no idea that this would be a journey with no return. As night fell, thick fog filled the forest, covering every path. Thomas lost his way, his footsteps echoing lonely in the eerie silence. That night, he disappeared without a trace. Many large-scale searches were organized, from helicopters scouring the skies to rescue teams combing every corner of Black Hollow. But all were in vain. Thomas Reed seemed to have vanished into thin air. Since then, Black Hollow has become even more mysterious. The locals began to pass down stories of a wandering ghost, the figure of a young man with sorrowful eyes, a lonely appearance, sometimes appearing on the trails at night. They called him the Lost Traveler, the spirit of Thomas Reed, forever unable to find his way home. That legend has persisted for decades, serving as a reminder that Black Hollow is not just a land, but a place that holds lost souls and dark secrets that humans should not be curious to explore. Since the mysterious disappearance of Thomas Reed, Black Hollow has gradually become a haunting nightmare for those who have ever set foot there. At night, the valley is shrouded in thick darkness, with only the sound of the wind whistling through the trees and the echoing insects creating a chilling melody. However, some people have witnessed inexplicable things with their own eyes. Many travelers recount seeing a faint figure appear by the roadside trail as the fog thickens. The silhouette wears worn-out clothes and walks unsteadily, as if searching for something in the void. When they try to approach, the figure immediately vanishes into the mist, leaving no trace. At those times, the atmosphere turns icy cold, even in the midst of a sweltering summer. Some say they hear heavy footsteps behind them, clearly echoing on the damp ground. But when they turn around, there is only silent emptiness and dense fog. The footsteps seem to continue endlessly, causing people to panic and flee the area in terror. Even more frightening is the story told by a group of young travelers who camped overnight near Black Hollow. At midnight, they heard a faint cry for help. Deep in the forest, the voice was hoarse and desperate, repeating two words: "Help me." The calls grew closer and closer, but when they shone their flashlights to search, they found only silent trees and darkness swallowing all sound. These encounters have made Black Hollow increasingly mysterious. No one can be sure whether these are illusions of the night or if the spirit of Thomas Reed still wanders, searching for a way home after decades lost. Drawn by terrifying rumors, a group of young adventurers decided to venture into Black Hollow to uncover the truth. They were brave, passionate about adventure, and did not believe in ghosts or folklore legends. Before setting off, they prepared thoroughly. Maps, GPS devices, high-powered flashlights and cameras to record their journey. Their goal was to experience a night in the forest and prove that the rumors were just products of imagination. As dusk fell, darkness enveloped Black Hollow in a dense blackness. The silence was eerie, broken only by the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves. The group set up camp at the entrance of the valley, lighting a campfire to ward off the cold and invisible fears. They sat together, telling stories, laughing happily, trying to reassure themselves. However, it was at that moment that strange phenomena began to occur. The campfire suddenly went out, despite there being no strong wind. The group was confused and hurried to relight the fire. But just as the flames flared up, a dry, slow, heavy footstep echoed from the darkness, approaching them. They shone their flashlights toward the sound, but saw only a thick mist covering the path. The footsteps continued, growing closer, as if someone was silently watching. Suddenly, a white figure flashed by, just for a brief moment, but enough to leave the group stunned. The silhouette was vague, but clearly human, with deep, black hollow eyes and a face full of sorrow. No one spoke or dared to move. Their hearts pounded wildly in their chests. One member of the group, overcome with panic, ran toward the white figure that had just disappeared. He dashed into the forest, desperate calls from his teammates ringing behind him. Fortunately, someone managed to catch up and pull him back before he got lost in the area known as Black Hollow's Forbidden Zone, where once you step in, you never find your way out. They decided to pack up and leave Black Hollow in the dark of night. On the way back, they still clearly felt invisible eyes watching them, and the quiet footsteps blending with the night wind. That trip was forever etched in their minds, like a nightmare that would never fade. Returning from that terrifying trip, the group of adventurers carried memories that could never be erased. That night was not just another night in the forest, like their previous adventures. It was the night they faced the most primal human fear, the fear of the unseen, the untouchable, yet clearly present in every breath, every pounding heartbeat. Black Hollow still lies there, amidst the majestic Appalachian Mountains. Still the dense forests, the thick fog covering the paths, and still the local folklore. Respect Black Hollow. Do not test the patience of the lost souls here, because not every mystery needs to be uncovered by humans. The spirit of Thomas Reed, the lost adventurer from years ago, perhaps still wanders somewhere in the mist of the Black Valley, forever searching hopelessly for a way home. Maybe he is waiting for someone, or an opportunity to break free from the bonds of this earthly hell. Today's story is not meant to scare or spread fear, but to remind. Sometimes, the greatest courage is knowing when to stop before things beyond human understanding.